Okay, so hello, my dear friends. Welcome to EduTap. And I would like to welcome Ms. Samiksha Agarwal. Thank you so much, Samiksha, for coming in today.
Thank you, ma'am, for
So,
inviting
guys,
me.
yes, it is our pleasure, right? So, guys, I'll just tell you one thing right before we start. Samiksha, as you know from the session itself, that this is a video about the topper, the recently selected topper of RBI Grade B. So, Ms. Samiksha Agarwal is the newly selected RBI Grade B officer, right? So, let's congratulate her. It is her big feat. Okay, she has graduated in 2018. She did her BSc and then she started preparing for UPSC examination. And through her journey, she got to know about RBI. She appeared in the examination. This was her first attempt in RBI, and she cracked the exam. And today, she is sitting in front of us. Thank you, Samisha, and many, many congratulations to you again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So, we'll be very interested to know about your journey. How did you prepare? How did you come to know about RBI? Before we begin, anything you would like to share about your educational background, which helped you also, or as you were telling me about your post graduation? So, few details about that.
Okay. So I completed my post graduation in 2018, Bachelor of Science, and immediately I enrolled myself for post graduation program two, and I completed Masters of Science in Mathematics by 2020, because I don't want to waste my time, and simultaneously I started preparing for competitive examination, basically civil services. And in the process of giving attempt, I gave my first attempt in 2019, and I could not clear the prelims. And that was the time my UPSC hangover got over, and I realized I should also look for various other avenues and equally good services in which I can make my career. And I realized that RBI Grade B provides with me that opportunity. And so I started preparing for the same, and I gave the exam in 2021 because there was no notification in 2020.
That's right. That's right. So, yes, they called this notification as 2020 2021. That's right. But yes, it's a wonderful job, I think, that you've got yourself, right? So, like, your hard work is there because it is a coveted, one of the most coveted jobs. You start your career with one of the most important, I would say, institutions of our country, Reserve Bank of India, and they're also starting as a manager. So, wonderful posting, right? You must be very happy. As I was talking with you, you and your family members.
Yes, ma'am. We are on cloud nine.
बनता है बिल्कुल बनता है and अच्छा tell us about your like family members, how when you were going through, like, you were preparing for UPSC and then you started preparing for RBI and then you got selected, so throughout uh, like how were they were encouraging you कि UPSC ही देते रहो या फिर कि नहीं चेंज कर सकते हो RBI में जाना चाहिए ऐसा कुछ.
मतलब ऐसा कुछ हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं था. दे वर लाइक डू व्हाट यू लाइक टू परस्यू. Like you, if you want to prepare for civil services, keep on preparing, but at the same time keeping the cutthroat competition in mind, you should start giving other equally good exams. So I started preparing for RBI Grade B after the advice only, I would say.
So basically, your family members were very supportive. What I can guess that
हाँ.
they were, if
Yes,
whatever you
ma'am.
wanted to do, you should just go for it.
Yes, ma'am. यस मैम.
Very
एक
nice.
बच्चा
ठीक
तो
है.
बस अपना हार्ड वर्क करता है, तो इक्वली उतना हार्ड वर्क उसके मम्मी पापा भी करते हैं उसके साथ साथ. तो मेरे साथ भी यही हुआ है.
Definitely, definitely. Again, so congratulations to them also.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम.
ठीक है. Right. So let's talk about your now preparation strategy. ठीक है. So as you were telling me that you started your preparation after January, after you appeared in your UPSC mains examination. So how did you manage? How did, like, what was the first step you took for the examination preparation?
First step I took was taking out the syllabus, because I was not much aware about the phase one basically. Um, and I started practicing for the quant reasoning and English section from various platforms which provide free quizzes. And if we will go by the pattern of phase one, So it has the general awareness has the highest weightage of 80 questions, and this is a make or a break part of the part paper. So I followed Affairs Cloud, current affairs for it.
Okay. So this is the way you started your preparation. The first step you took, that you took out the syllabus, you saw that what all is going to come, and then you started your preparation. Okay. Acha, one more thing, Samiksha, like students who were preparing earlier or who had appeared in last year's examination, they knew that pattern has changed. Okay, for this year's examination, descriptive paper was like introduced this year, but because you were attempting the examination for the first time, so you did not had that thing in mind that pattern has changed or anything, right? And I would say that
Yes,
even
ma'am.
your UPSC prep would helped here in answer writing.
Yes, ma'am. To a large extent, uh, basically in UPSC, we have the habit of formulating our points in our mind. So that definitely helps us in writing our any answer.
Hmm. So, for your descriptive answer writing, did you practice beforehand, like before your prelims only, or you practiced after the like phase one examination of RBI?
Basically, I tried to complete the phase two syllabus before phase one itself.
Hmm.
However, practicing on keyboard started only after I got to know that I've cleared phase one.
Hmm. Pretty decent approach, I would say. That obviously you cannot expect that you'll prepare completely syllabus after phase one. You have to complete that. The practicing of online writing can be done later. Okay. So let's talk about your phase one first, then we will move on to your phase two tips also for the students. So as you said that GA in phase one has highest weightage, 80 marks, right? So the source you have mentioned that you referred current affairs, right? But Samiksha, the question is that current affairs or general awareness is considered too vast. A lot of things are there, like questions varying from general sports events to the schemes released were asked, especially in this year, right? Like PM Kusum was also asked, the normal everyday events were also asked, right? So, how to revise or retain so much of data or so many things?
Ma'am, I believe one of the basic strategy to cover current affairs is to read newspaper daily and consistently. We should not have breaks. So that is the first thing which will help us retain the concepts and topics for longer time. And when it comes to revision, we can refer to any compilation which is available, or almost all the institutes, they cover the same kind of current affairs. There is not much difference. They even cover the PIB news, which is highly relevant for our schemes part and various international organizations reports. So we can take any compilation, we should read it, we should highlight it and revise it time and again. It should not be like a one day event.
Hmm. So everyday basis revision is required. And as you said that you used to read newspapers, I believe.
Yes, ma'am,
And
daily.
till your examination, like till phase two, did you read newspaper or did you stop after phase one or before phase one itself?
Ma'am, for me, newspaper was not just a part of my preparation strategy. Now it has become my daily routine. So even now I read it daily as I am preparing, or doesn't matter if I'm preparing or not.
Right. So I think that is that one thing is the typical of any UPSC aspirant, right? You cannot avoid or you cannot leave your newspapers. So that is the way I think UPSC helps. Your preparation of UPSC helps that you build the concepts, you read newspapers, and then of course answer writing also. We will talk about that aspect chalo in phase two. Okay, so GA basically you read newspapers, then you revised a lot. The compilations, there so many compilations are available, and you were also telling me about your like YouTube videos that you watch. So did you watch videos for general awareness part also?
Yes, ma'am. The marathon sessions which are conducted on EduTap or various other platforms like Anujindal too. So I used to watch them thoroughly.
So those are also helpful in your like revision, the
Yes,
last
ma'am.
moment
Very
revision.
helpful.
Because this
Very
is a
helpful.
question that we get a lot, that ma'am, how to do the last week revision or last moment revision. So such sessions or the things that you've already read, go through the magazines, that is gonna help, right? ठीक है,
Yes, ma'am.
so that is about GA. Acha, one more thing, how many months of current affairs did you prepare for GA?
Basically, I started in reverse. So I prepared thoroughly for 3 months, and subsequently I became much contrasted in my preparation, like focusing more on national news only and schemes part.
Okay, that is what, because we have seen the pattern that 3 to 6 months are more important before the examination. And then again, you can go up to 1 year, but the weightage decreases. So this is again a thing that you actually applied, because what students do is that I'll prepare for 6 months and they're not even able to revise anything later. So better that you, rather than covering more, you revise more. Okay, right. Okay, coming to quant and reasoning, Samiksha. So it's
So
not easy.
Yes, ma'am. It was definitely not easy this time. I cleared the reasoning sectional cutoff by 0.75. So अगर वो clear नहीं होती तो phase 1 clear नहीं होता. So
बहुत like
I
ये
think
तो
the quant
लक भी यहाँ पे काम करता है 0.75 में.
तो मुझे लगता है कि क्वांट रीजनिंग को मतलब सबके अपने अपने हिट्स होते हैं, लाइक क्वांट रीजनिंग इन इंग्लिश, माय friends were English and general awareness, so I counted on them. However, we have to clear the sectional cutoff, so I used to practice daily quizzes which were posted on various platforms, like Bankers Adda, Olive Board, Practice Mock. You can refer any which you feel like, so that will do. Also, I was better clear with my basics, so I directly jumped with practicing daily questions. However, if you're very newbie in this preparation, you should clear your basics first. There are enormous YouTube videos which are available, which covers the syllabus in length. So that is not a problem. And then we can practice daily.
Okay. So for content reasoning, again, what I understand is that you should have first your basic clarity, and then you should have like ample of practice of the questions. You used to do quant reasoning on daily basis. And
Daily.
Samiksha, how many hours or what time of a day should be devoted to quant and reasoning? Again, a time management question.
Ma'am, it depends on the level of preparation you are doing. So basically, 10 days before phase 1, it is advised that you should solve one mock daily, and you should introspect it and practice the questions again. So that is for a person who is well versed with the basics and just need to practice. For a person who is not aware about the basics, he needs to put in more efforts, like 2 hours for maths, 2 hours for reasoning daily. And there are people who are not so good in English, so they also needs to put some effort, especially for English part.
So the idea is that you should know your strengths and weaknesses very first. That as you said that you knew that your strong parts are G and English. So that way you prepared quant and reasoning and English and GA also. So if it becomes easy to strategize your preparation, if you know that this is the thing that I'm good in and this is the thing that I need to put more effort.
Yes, ma'am.
So quant and reasoning, so of course, questions, YouTube videos are there, mock tests are freely available. And so many mock tests that should be taken. And for English, would you like, as you were reading newspapers, so I suppose anyhow your English language builds up if you read daily newspapers. That helps a lot. But anything else would you like to suggest to the students for English?
For English, I personally did not refer to any material or any YouTube lectures, but for that also there are a number of YouTube videos available. We should focus more on our grammar part, the rules, because everything just falls on that grammar part only. There is a book of like I'm not able to remember something called Mirror Karke. So that is also advised to people that they can refer to. For clearing the basics and practice.
If students feel that they are good in English, they can just practice the quiz. If you feel that you are weak, you need to up your score, then you have to go to the books. है ना? So I think apart from that, we cannot say that this is the specific book that you can refer for phase 1, because new students have this doubt that is there any book that I can refer for phase 1. There are multiple different sources. You have to identify your source and then stick to your source. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है जी.
Practice is the key for phase one.
Right. So you also mentioned about the mock test, right? 10 days before the examination, you said daily mock tests. So that
Okay.
is one thing. As you said that before examination, daily take mock tests. Apart from that, prior to 10 days, did you take mock tests?
No, ma'am, not directly. I took the mock test. I just took out the PDFs of previous year questions and I tried to analyze the questions which were getting more and more importance so that I can emphasize more on them in my last few days of preparation.
Okay. So, but did mock tests help you in the like examination? Did you feel that?
Yes, ma'am, mock tests definitely help us to prioritize the question which we want to attempt and which we want to skip because no one can solve all the questions. It is the priority which will help us to ace the exam because we have to clear the cutoff. No marks are added for phase one.
Hmm. Very nice point, I would say, Samiksha. This is that uh, prioritizing the questions, the way you are going to attempt the examination, plus to identify your own weakness and your strengths. I think mock tests are again going to help you. Plus, you
Very nice.
said that you refer to previous year papers also. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
will help you to like gauge the requirement of examination.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else you feel is required? I think we have spoken about phase one. We have discussed anything you feel that ये भी हो सकता है या additional things that might have helped you apart from these things.
No, ma'am, I think phase one is very qualifying in nature. So we should focus more on practice and nothing else. And phase two is considered the try baker as for now.
ठीक है चलो तो फिर let's talk about phase two now. Right. So you have told us that you completed your syllabus before phase one itself for ESI and finance. ठीक है. So how did you start? Because after your UPSC preparation, when you are starting the RBI, and this was your first attempt, where did you start? Which subject did you pick up? Finance or ESI? And in that subject, how did you prioritize the preparation?
Ma'am, I firstly started with management because its syllabus was static in nature and more compact and concise. I went according to the syllabus, the topics which were given, and I started Googling some of the stuff. Since my optional was public administration, so there was, I do not face any problem in starting of the basics. And then I took the help from your summary sheets too. Uh, I Googled the terms which are not available as the syllabus was revised too, and I made my own short notes for revision purposes for management. That was enough, I think, because they are very basic in nature. Management questions, very basic in nature.
That's right. So management is considered as a scoring subject usually also. Students find it like as you said, compact and easy to cover, and then you know that questions are not going to be some off track questions. So very first thing you covered your management. Okay, then you moved on to finance.
Yes, ma'am, I moved to finance.
Okay. And did you used to make like your own notes while you used to refer to the material provided or the books you used to refer whatever?
Ma'am, I used to make my own notes in my notebook because
Hmm.
it helps me in better retention. And since it
And
was static in nature, there will be not much addition also.
okay. And after you appeared in the examination, did you find or can you mention few topics that you feel that while preparation also I felt and after the exam you are sure that these are the most important topics from FM, let's say.
I think for management, the behavioral organization like leadership, motivation. So there are various models and they have the names. So the questions they come directly on these topics. I feel this is the major part which should be covered. And so this is for the MCQ portion. If we talk about the descriptive questions for management, there is a topic called corporate principle, corporate governance, and ethical principles. So I feel these are the few topics from which we can expect direct descriptive questions. Even we got the corporate governance question this time.
Right. So these are like the most important questions that you should cover, right? Ideally, you
Yes,
should
ma'am.
cover everything, but still, if you have this thing in mind that, okay, these topics are more important, it becomes
Yes,
easy for
ma'am.
you again to prioritize, right? ठीक है. So descriptive भी you have told us, and even in objective paper. ठीक है. So what were your sources for FM finance as well as management preparation, Samiksha?
Ma'am, management, as I told, I always used to go with the syllabus, and I used to collect all the material like your summary sheets and some YouTube lectures which are available. And I used to compact all the notes according to the syllabus topics in my notebook. And I used to Google the terms which are not available. For finance, I think budget and economic survey also becomes very important, because this year also there was a direct question like mention 5 highlights of this budget. So this is just a bonus question.
Hmm.
You can cover it very well, and it can be explained very vividly.
So that also, like you refer to videos or the summary PDFs of budgets because they are available. Budget survey
Yes, ma'am.
videos are there, PDFs are there. So you refer to YouTube only for the preparation.
Yes, ma'am. I referred for the YouTube only. I made my own short notes from the lectures, and I used to revise them time and again.
Very nice, very nice. Important this is because see, budget and survey are two very important things for every time, like they are, even in descriptive, as you said, they are. So this why I'm asking is because students post this query or they always discuss that, ma'am, like should we go to the original budget or should we go to, like, let's say summary is available on the government website. PRS puts the exact survey and budget, or we can refer to the videos available and all. So that means the most important things you need to cover, and videos and PDF summary shall be sufficient.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
You
ma'am.
found sufficient these things were for you at
Yes,
least?
ma'am. Ma'am, they cover according to our needs. Institutes, they cover according to our needs, like what is relevant and what is not.
Okay, very nice. Fine. So this is about, I think, finance management. Talking about ESI.
Ma'am, I did not prepare anything specifically for ESI, since most of that syllabus was covered in our GS3 of UPSC Civil Services preparation. However, when I look at the pattern, I found that there is a lot of question on schemes, and that too very factual in nature, because in civil services, they are very analytical type. But here there was according to we get questions on budget allocations too, and the latest additions on in the schemes. So for that, you
That's
need
right.
to specifically prepare. And PIB here comes very handy. However, it's very difficult to cover PIB on a daily basis because of the nature of everybody's daily life. And I think YouTube videos or any compilation which are available enormously on our various platforms covers them sufficiently.
Yes, this is the right point. I think that you have mentioned that for like UPSC, you need to understand, you need to get that what is the background of this scheme or why has it been launched. While here in RBI, in rather for that matter, NABARD examination or SEBI, the regulatory body examinations, they have this tendency, they'll ask the exact figure that what is the budget allocation of this scheme, right? Or what is the increase in the allocation? Such questions are asked. So how did you not find these things difficult to retain, especially because in UPSC you were not used to prepare such facts? So how did you manage
Yes,
that?
it was. Yeah, it was very difficult. But as I said, I stick revising one source which I had already mentioned, and I kept on revising that. No new addition. It is better to get my 5 questions correct rather to cramp for 10 questions.
Hmm. ठीक है. तो ESI में तो basically UPSC helped you a lot, your preparation, right?
Yes,
But
ma'am.
any 3-4 tips that you'd like to give to the students who might not have the UPSC background? How should they prepare ESI? Because majorly it's about current affairs. Any tips you'd like to share?
Ma'am, I would say like first they should clear the basics. Only then they will understand what is going in the current also in economics and social issue. For that they can refer the NCRT, which I have also read, and then they can refer to any standard book which is available. I read the Ramesh thing, because at that time, for civil services preparation, that used to be very considered important. You can refer any book. There is one book by Vivek Singh Sir too. It is also considered very good. And Mrunal Sir notes are also considered very good. They cover the economics and social issues part in depth. So, and for the dynamic part, you can always refer to any compilation. As I said, uh, especially dynamic parts covers the reports and the schemes, and that also helps in our phase one preparation too. So I think that is enough for economics and social issues.
So basically, any like basic books and your understanding of basic concepts of economy would help you, right, in ESI. And then majorly because current affairs are also reports, schemes, the day-to-day events related to economy and even social issues shall be covered, right? For that, you said that compilations are there. PIB, if you can refer students, if they have time, then they can go through the PIB. Although like it's difficult, that is why even we provide magazine in our course, so we cover those things. So I think the compilations that are available, they'll cover important things. Okay. So this is about ESI and about FM. One thing, because we have spoken about ESI current affairs and FM static preparation. What weightage did you feel should be given to current affairs for FM preparation? Management, like there is no current affair related to management, but finance is still there.
I think for finance, the current affairs weightage is revolves around RBI website and various other regulatory bodies, notifications and circulars. So if you get time, you can visit the websites. However, it is not possible. We usually visit the website when we have to prepare for the interview. And I think any new circular or any new notification which is published on the website is highlighted in the newspaper, and it is very well reflected in the compilations too. So we can rely on them. There is no need to diversify our sources. The less the number of sources, the better the revision, the better the retention.
Wonderful. This is to all the viewers who are aspiring for this examination or any other regulatory body examination. These are the golden words by Samiksha. That retention is more important. Do not diversify. Rather restrict your sources and then try to retain as much as you can. Because wonderful example, Samiksha, you have given that anything, let's say some notification by RBI is there. If it is impacting the large public, it will be covered very well in the newspaper. And if you are covering newspapers or even your any compilation of any institute, that will be covered there, right? But of course, we'll talk about interview also. As you said, that for interview specifically, you can go to the website of RBI, right? Okay. So current affairs are not much in FM, right? They can be prepared through going through the magazine or any newspaper you are going through. For ESI specifically, you have to focus on schemes, reports, the events related to syllabus, right? Okay. And we were also talking about a descriptive paper, like practice of descriptive paper. So you said that you started writing the answers through keyboard after your phase one. How did you like? Was it a everyday basis thing, or you divided your time for that also?
I would say I used to take one question from ESI and one question from FM. Like if you also provided a three test series, and there are previous year questions also, like prior to 2015, it was descriptive only. So from that pattern only, I got to know like budget is very important, and you can very well expect that highlight wala type of questions, and it also came. So I was prepared for that, and I even practiced that on the keyboard. So I used to take one question from ESI and one question from FM, and I typed on my keyboard accordingly before phase two.
That must have helped you in the answer writing in paper.
Yes, ma'am. Because the word limit was very enormous, like 400 words and 600 words. So we used to write, and we never got an opportunity to type, and suddenly there was we have to type. So practice was important before the exam.
Of course, very important. Practice is, especially because it is the keyboard typing is there. It's not pen and paper. You can directly go, and you cannot expect that you'll go and start writing. You have to have the practice. ठीक है. Talking about the word limit, as you mentioned. So, were you able to adhere to the word limit 600 and 400? Like, did you
Not
fulfill?
No, not even my dreams. I would have fulfilled it. For 600 words, I got around 390 to 400, and for 400 word limits, around 250 plus.
So the thing is that because students even now are worried that the same concern as you said, that so many things, 2000 words, let's say, 4 questions, 2000 words you have to type in the examination. It's difficult. It's not easy, right? So, but we have a selected candidate with us, guys, the selected officer telling you that it's not this. You can if it's very good if you are able to fulfill the word limit, but if you are not able to and you are writing good, the content that you're providing in, let's say, 300 or 400 words out of 600, that also will be accounted, right?
Yes, ma'am. I think
So
the
that
style
is,
of presenting, the style
hmm,
of presenting becomes important over here. I provided with separate headings and numbering 1, 2, 3, like corporate principles, corporate governance question. I wrote around 10 principles, and I supported them with examples of why they are important.
hmm. Very nice. So we will also love to hear a few tips of answer writing because you have the experience of UPSC, which is again a wonderful thing, and you have now written this RBI also, descriptive paper. So give us few tips so that students can use those tips for improving their answer writing.
I think we should always go for the basics. Like if you're faced with any question, always start with the definition or any statistics which you can recall from economic survey or any newspaper it has highlighted. That is, I think, the best way to start any answer. Then you should directly jump to the question rather than beating around the bush, because the examiner is also very have the limited time. So we should come directly to the question. And I always preferred providing headings separately and answering in point formats. Like the more number of points you could put forward, the better it becomes for the examiner to check too. So providing headings and answering in bullets or 1, 2, 3 numbering, I think it always provides us a better presentation skills.
Okay. So like rather than paragraph form, you use the points form to present your answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Again, very, very nice. I think one viewer of us has asked this also the same question, that how to write point wise or paragraph wise. So Samisha did it point wise, as she was giving us wonderful tips that you should first refer to the, like, go to the basics, start with the definition. Do not just try to make it very complicated in the question. Start with basics and then go to the point directly rather than just mentioning or making context. Go to the points and then try to present in a format that is easy for the evaluator also, right? Giving subheads and then points. Wonderful thing. That, so that basically worked, writing in points. I think that would have given you yourself also more clarity that what you are writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
One
Okay.
thing
Very
more
nice.
which I followed. One thing more which I followed was like I when I started typing, I made a skeleton of all the answers first in the box which was provided, rather than filling up the area. And after I was able to attempt all my questions, I started increasing their length after that. But I wanted like कि मेरा content पहले present हो जाना चाहिए कि इतना तो जाना ही चाहिए हर answer से. फिर उसके बाद you can increase the length according to your word limit and time available.
So that is also a very good tip, I would say, that starting directly on the screen, usse better hai that you write somewhere like some points or the skeletal structure of the answer. That so that happens. What I think, Samisha, that when you are writing or typing, sometimes you get lost in between the answer, but then you can look
Yes,
back
ma'am.
to your box that am I sticking to it or not.
Yes,
Very nice. Okay. So wonderful points those were. So I think ESI finance, we have spoken about descriptive also. And objective, the current affairs part of phase one also helped anyhow in this, like the current affairs
ma'am.
were common,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And one last thing about this descriptive part, how did you manage your, or how did you balance the preparation of objective and descriptive paper, or in phase two itself? 50-50 marks were
Ma'am,
divided.
yes, ma'am. For phase two, I think for objective or for descriptive, revision is important for both of them. And practicing is also important. So I used to solve a lot of MCQs for my objective part, and for descriptive, I used to build up my content and practice one question from each of ESI and FM on keyboard. So I think that has helped me sufficiently.
So basically, the balance should be maintained. You cannot just say that
Both
for
are
1 week I'll
required.
write descriptive and 1 week I'll prepare, just sit and do only MCQs. Better is on
Yes,
a daily basis, you should do both.
yes, ma'am. MCQs practicing it becomes very handy if you practice it daily.
Hmm. And for that, you have told us that mock tests are there, freely available. So many questions are posted on a daily
Quizzes are
basis.
there.
Hmm. Okay, very nice. Okay. I think we have touched upon all the important aspects of your descriptive paper for phase 2 and even objective of phase 1 and phase 2. Okay, ji, very nice. Chalo. So before we move on to your interview preparation, before you discuss with us, would you like to tell anything specific that you feel that this is the reason I have been selected in RBI, or this is what I did differently? Any like interesting points so that students who like viewers they can get to know, अच्छा ये कर सकते हैं हम, ये किया है आपने.
Ma'am, I don't think I did anything specifically different, but I believe failures are the stepping stones of success. Before my phase two, I failed in two mains. For UPPCS also, I could not clear, and for UPSC also, I could not clear. And that was a very low moment of my life because we dedicate so much time. At approximately 2 years of my life, I dedicated for this exam, and I was just hanging midway. And RBI Grade B provided me a way out from this mode. And I
Hmm.
was very upset. 10 days पहले ही UPSC का मेंस का रिजल्ट आया था. I was very low, but था कि ये एग्जाम क्लियर करना है. I have to get selected this year. So that provided me an energy, and I keep on working, and I cleared the phase two also.
Very nice. And this is what I think that I was talking about different thing, because see, preparation is being done. So many students are sitting and preparing, but tackling your own mind that you have seen a low point, you have seen the failure, but still motivating yourself again. That नहीं ये करना है, तो वो motivation कहाँ से आई समीक्षा कि नहीं करना है?
मोटिवेशन तो आई थिंक मेरे पेरेंट्स ही हैं. वो कहते हैं कि कोई बात नहीं, इस साल नहीं हुआ अगले साल हो जाएगा. अभी तो आरबीआई भी है, इस पे फोकस करो. So I think they are my biggest motivators. So they always supported me, and my job is I cleared my exam for them only. They have always provided me a better life, and I think now it's my time to provide them a better life.
Lovely, lovely to hear that. I think they must be very happy after they watch this interview also.
They must be watching it live.
Nice, very nice. So, guys, again, see, this is the thing, that the motivation that no, if I have failed once or twice, that's okay. I have to keep on going. I have to prepare. I have to learn from my mistakes. This is what keeps you going. Preparation is to be done, तो करना ही है. Lekin motivation should come, as Samiksha said, that her parents were there, they were supporting her, family members were there. So you should also maintain a set of friends, your family members who motivate you, right? ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. What happens, Samiksha, in the examination? What we see that students are like isolated completely. कुछ बुरा भी फील हो रहा है, डिप्रेशन भी है, तो अलग से बैठे हुए हैं. तो बेटर इज इंटरैक्ट करो थोड़ा सा, मोटिवेशन वहां से भी मिलता है ना. तो एज शी सेड दैट हमेशा फेलियर इज अ स्टेपिंग स्टोन. तो वो भी फेलियर देख के देखिए आज आपके सामने शी इज विद अस. ठीक है, वेरी वेरी नाइस टू हियर ऑल दैट. तो चलिए समीक्षा, जल्दी से लेट्स टॉक अबाउट योर इंटरव्यू. Psychometric test was there, right? Or interview. तो how did you prepare for all that, and how was your interview experience?
Ma'am, psychometric, it was a new edition this time. However, your channel provided a sort of mock type, so it helped. But there is nothing to worry about psychometric test. It was like a very basic in nature, and it didn't have any impact on our interview as such. Talking about my interview preparation, I would say I started with my biodata, which I have filled. I made all the questions relevant, which were relevant to uh, my educational background or my city, as in, because I live in Agra, Uttar Pradesh. It is a tourist place, so uh,
Hmm.
I just searched for the fact related to how COVID has impacted tourism sector, and also the UP government came up with their population policy. So I was well versed with the population issue, if that question could have come. And then I went up with the RBI website, and I read each and every circular which was in news, and various speeches by the governor. Also, I think the main document, the functioning and the working of RBI is the main document which every aspirant should cover for interview, because it covers in depth what an RBI Grade B officer is expected to do when they will enter the organization as such. I highlighted the PDF and I revised it 2 to 3 times before attempting the interview. However, with all the preparation, the interview is a completely different experience. So when I entered, they asked me, ki, what does your father do? Like there was some discussion, and then he asked me, like, what were you doing after 2018? Why didn't you complete your post graduation? Because I have not mentioned that part. I highlighted him. I could not mention it because of I do not have any documents. So he said, okay, fine. Then in my extra co-curricular activities, I have mentioned debating. So there was a healthy amount of discussion on that. He said that I seem you have developed proficiency in debating. So tell me, is it easy to go in for, or is it easy to go in against?
Hmm.
So I said, sir, it will depend on the topic which I will be faced. No, he said, no, no, just tell me, what do you think, which is more easy? So I said, I believe, sir, it is easy to criticize anything than to provide merits and facts related to the subject. So he said, oh, okay. Then he said, Acha, tell me any difficult topic which you have faced in your life as part of your debate competition. So I told him that there was a topic in my college days, are today's youth radicalized towards terrorism? So there was a healthy amount of discussion on this, and in this discussion, I uttered a word called demographic dividend, and I saw this question coming in my subsequent
Hmm.
questions.
Right. So, yeah, I can feel that your interview was actually you had a good discussion and you were able
Yes,
to
ma'am.
like see your preparation. Obviously, whatever you prepare, however you prepare, the interview is going to be different. It cannot be on the same
Yes,
lines. That is why it is a surprise element. But still, all that preparation helps you to be confident. That
ma'am.
is what I can see because you had read that what if any question did not come, right? Any question did not come up from RBI, right?
There was only one question, like which work of RBI excites you the most? So I said
Hmm.
monetary policy and financial inclusion and development.
Hmm. So again, you had read about it, although it is a part of syllabus also, but because you had gone through the website and prepared your background, that helped you, right? So three things basically that you have to prepare is your own background, your education qualification, and your family background also. What have you
Um,
done? The place where you are hailing from, about all those things you should cover, right? Completely
yes,
about your own self, right? Secondly, you said that about the organization you should know the part
yes,
you're going to
ma'am.
be of that organization. And third
Conversation.
is, did the current affairs or the preparation of your phase 2 or phase 1 also helped your
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, it helped me. Like phase two,
hmm,
maybe there are topics like fintech, financial inclusion. So these
hmm,
are direct questions which we can expect healthy discussion on them.
hmm. So these are the three areas that you can prepare for, right? As you said,
Yes, ma'am.
you made a list of questions you were practicing and all. Okay. So did you take any mock
Yes, ma'am.
interview also?
Yes, ma'am. I gave a number of mocks. The
Hmm.
first mock was of yours only, telephonic conversation,
Hmm.
and various other platforms also provide mocks, and they are very helpful because they help us to identify our strengths and weaknesses, and they inculcate a habit of to say it's better to say no if you do not know anything rather than beat around the bush.
So be like tell them that you do not know the answer. I believe that humbly, if you tell them genuinely you do not know, rather than trying to frame some answer and then telling them उससे better है, tell them that ये नहीं पता है और जो पता है उसको अच्छे से बताइए. Very nice. And one more thing I would like to highlight that you mentioned that in the interview, the things that you were mentioning, like for example debating, that was asked because you had mentioned that it was asked. Then in debating, you mentioned about demographic dividend, that was again asked. So you kind of provide fodder for your own interview, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All in all, अच्छा experience था interview. You enjoyed?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was more of a discussion, an opinion-based question. So it was nice.
ठीक है. और psychometric was not mentioned in your interview. No impact as such. ठीक है.
No impact as such.
The idea behind psychometric is to just to gauge that what type of personality you are. That are you going to fit in the organization, or even to see that are you trying to frame yourself, your test, you are writing something, because you have to see the pictures and write, right? So they get to know कि ये ऐसा है नहीं, but you are trying to show ऐसा. Very nice.
A test of integrity, I can say.
Integrity. Very nice. So I would say a wonderful, interactive, insightful session this has been. You have touched upon all the important aspects, phase 1, phase 2, even till interview, right? So thank you so much, Samiksha, for taking out time and giving wonderful tips to the students.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was such a nice session. And I think if anybody wants to ask any questions, they can very well comment, and I would be very happy to help them out in any way.
Very nice. So guys, you are free to now ask questions to Samiksha in comments also. You can mention now also, students are there live. If you can mention anything, I'll take that up. And I think comments, if there are, of course, Samiksha will answer them. Okay. अच्छा एक क्वेश्चन है that lastly I'll take. Samiksha, आप ही बताइए, arts background students को can they go for RBI or not? So the question is that does background matter?
No, I don't think background matter. मैं तो एक स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी से पढ़ी हूँ, कोई बड़े एक्कोलेज भी नहीं है मेरे नाम पे. आई एम वेरी सिंपल पर्सन, so I don't think what matters is how you present yourself. Phase 1 and phase 2 is completely based on your hard work. You earn that interview stage for yourself, and that's the show time to show that you're no different from anyone. It doesn't matter from where you belong, and you deserve to be a part of that organization.
And Samiksha is exemplifying that, I would say, coming, as she said, that she's so humble to say that she's like completed her graduation and all from state college only, but still she's here with us as a manager of RBI, and we hope and we wish that you rise the ladder up there also, you perform, you are going to do really well. We have this hope, and all the best to you for your career ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am.